Hello everybody, this is Dr. Butch Melton at the Sacred Heart Gospel Hour. We're not on radio back on radio quite yet. Hang with me here for a little bit. This is a very important video about what things are going on, the super blue moon, the Shemitah, what's going on in the world right now, and it's a very bad day for everybody, and I'm going to explain that to you in this video. And if you're not aware of it, then you've been hiding somewhere. And this should right here send chills up and down your spine, what's going on right now at this moment, right at this second. But first of all, let me explain why we haven't been on doing the videos. And I've been on back, I haven't started back on my Sacred Heart Gospel Hour on radio, on Blog Talk Radio, is the fact that my daughter had a baby not long ago. The baby's now 5 months old tomorrow, doing well, the baby's fine. But my daughter, they had to do an emergency operation on her during the delivery of the child. And they had this a couple weeks ago, had another episode, had to take her to the emergency room. They put her in emergency and they had to take out her gallbladder. And they took it out, and they found out she's got something else, so a couple more tests she's got to have a run, and there's something else, another surgery she's going to have done as well. We still don't know what that may be, but we thank you for all your prayers that you've been giving out there for my daughter and for my granddaughter, and also for the family. Okay, that's first of all. I will be returning back to the Blog Talk Radio shows as soon as I possibly can, when everything gets back to normal. We're building this is the new studio that we got going. I got a lot more things that I got to bring in here, and I got the echo out because I brought more stuff in here. Got carpet on the floor now, so it doesn't echo as bad. I want to apologize for the other two videos that I did on YouTube that it had a real bad echo, and that's because there was nothing in the room. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead before I get started. Right now, and to let you know, my health is not doing too well either. I went to the heart doctor yesterday. They're worried about my kidneys shutting down from the medication I've been taking for a long period of time. I've got to go have my kidneys checked out and also my liver. And I haven't been feeling too good here of late. So my time's probably winding close to the end, and the Lord's kept me here just for the reason, when He kept bringing me back from near death so many times, for me to be here to inform you what's going on. Wants me to, as a messenger. I'm not a preacher, it's a Sacred Heart Gospel Hour. It's not a church. It's just a portal for getting out the messages as long as I can. They've been running some heat on me. The administration, they're not liking, the Pope's not liking what I've got to say, and I don't care. It's got to be said, and my head's on the chopping block. But like I said, if anything ever mysteriously happens to me, just disappear or go away, and my family tells you they don't know, or they do know, they know it's been something really bad. Now, I hope it don't come to those terms. I don't think so. I don't think it will, because there's a lot more bigger fish to fry in this world right now. Now, let's get this thing rolling. We've all been hearing about these different colored dots on your mailboxes and FEMA camps. All right, they're going to be called refugee camps, because they're going to be taking these refugees out from the Middle East, which they're done started up last couple of weeks ago. Said that they were going to take in 500,000, I think, refugees, Muslims, that will be coming here, and Obama did say that on his first or second year of his reign as emperor over the United States, that no longer was the United States a Christian nation, and he was right. And nobody seemed to, quote unquote, listen to him, but they heard it, but it just rolled over him because he's their Messiah, that he is what they've been waiting for all these years, to take America back to where it does not do anything in the world at all. We don't do anything. We don't go rescue anybody. We'll take all the needy and the refugees, and we'll hand out all our money we can possibly get until we go absolutely broke. And then we're going to have our own people at each other's throat trying to find a piece of bread or a dozen eggs here and there. Everybody be killing everybody. It won't be a race war, it'll be a starvation war. And that's coming up. It's right around the corner, and I'm going to tell you what I've seen. The Lord gave me visions of the end days. He gave me visions. It says in the Bible, He gives old men dreams and visions, and also young men visions, to be a messenger in the end times. And what I've seen is that He's going to split this country. He can split it 3 ways or 2 ways. I can't. It's not clear at this moment, but it's going to be split. America's not going to be one continent anymore. It's going to be like several large islands. And why is God going to split America? Well, in the Bible, I've been studying the Bible all my life. And I went to school, and I've got my doctorates. I got all the paperwork that's in my thesis I did on world religion, so on and so forth. And I got all the certificates I ever need. And I could start my own church. I don't want to. I don't want it. I don't want to do that. I just want to bring the word, the gospel, the truth to you. I'm not saying anybody, I'm not trying to get anybody to follow the leader or anything like that. So I'm not a leader. The leader is God. The leader is Jesus, the Lord Christ. That's the leader. That's who you should be following. That's who I follow, and nobody else. Obama, I do not follow. Did I run to go see the Pope in Philadelphia and United Nations and in Washington? No. Because I know for a fact he is the false prophet that speaks of in Daniel and also in Revelations. He is the false prophet. And he is the one that's went and made those speeches the other day. Now, if you listen to them, they sound okie dokie, right? He's a Jesuit. Jesuits are very, very not, let me put it to you this way, they're not nice people, okay? They even cut themselves their sexual organs, and they write their name in contract in their own blood. I read that to you on the actual ceremony and rites on my radio shows. You can go back and listen to it on Blog Talk in my archives. Explained it to you how they done that, and they do not. And they've done it come out now using the word in their masses. In the masses, you can hear it when they sing the songs. Oh Lucifer. Oh, Lucifer. And now they've got bold enough to where they come out, the Pope has come out and said, and the bishops and those that are in cahoots with him have said that Jesus was the son of Lucifer. Now, I'm not making this up. This is not a joke. You can go and check it out online on the internet. Google it. How the Orthodox the Orthodox Roman Catholic churches around the world is holding masses and singing songs, and even in their prayers praying and singing to Lucifer, putting Lucifer as their God. And that's what it says, oh God, oh Lucifer, period. And people are running by the billions, are running toward this insane, I don't know what else you want to call it. It's insane. It's absolutely craziness. But people doesn't listen. They don't open their eyes. It's what Jesus said. He warned everybody that in the end of days, everybody's eyes will be crusted over so bad that these highfalutin political geniuses and they have all these people that writes these speeches for them. And it said in the end of days, this man will come that have lips and tongue as honey, and will speak sweet words, and even pronounce and even read some gospel, even read the word of God, and will come out in the name of peace, but there's not going to be any peace. It's going to be the greatest Holocaust, as the Bible described, as God described it to you in Daniel and all throughout the Bible. It's going to be, things are going to happen here very shortly that's never happened on this earth before and never will again. That's how bad it's going to be. That's how bad it's going to be. And it's not going, Jesus said, Woe to those who give suck in those days, and pray that it be not in the wintertime. And what are we doing? We're right here in the wintertime. Now, this supermoon, blood moon, all occurred. I watched it. I videotaped the eclipse what I could get of it. It was really cloudy. The rain was moving in. We didn't get the videotape it being turned red, but I know it did. I don't have to look at it. I didn't have to see it. I know it did. And everybody online has been going down, well, the 23rd to 28th. It's the end of time. It's going. The earthquake's going to happen. The sun will be dark, and all of this Holocaust asteroids is going to be hitting the ocean. And everybody's been warning about this, about that. Now, is it going to happen? Yes, sooner or later it's going to happen. But I've told them, and I told them time and time again, don't try to put any dates on it. And you heard me when I came out and said that this week will be just like 2012. It'll be just like it. You know, 2012 came by, the Mayan calendar came by, and it came and gone. Everybody said, well, see there, everybody was, everybody was stupid and got everybody in an uproar over nothing. No, it wasn't an uproar over nothing. That was the beginning of the end of our generation. Okay, that was the beginning of the, not the beginning of the tribulation now. You see, here's where everybody jumps to conclusion. Don't do that. Don't jump to conclusion. Don't listen to these preachers when they say, well, you know, next week is it. Next week is the end. Nobody knows the hour or the minute of the day. If you'll take that to the bank, that's the truth. Jesus said that. He said, not even he will know. Only the Father in heaven knows when that time, that hour, that second, that minute will occur. Also, what everybody's got to understand is that these things in Revelation is not going to fall in precise order. Like seal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All of those have got to be in order. No. God can open those seals, and he can open up the first seal, jump over and open up the sixth seal. He can open up the fifth one, then he go over here and jump to 7. Then he go back to 2. He can do that. He's God. He's omnipotent. He can do anything he wants to. He's the designer and creator of all the universe and all the dimensions. And all the things that we don't even know about. He can do those things. He set it up that way to where no man will ever know what and how these things are going to occur and how it's going to happen. Now, we do know that Jesus said, and Jesus is the truth, it is in the gospel, that there's going to be earthquakes in diverse places. We've already had that. It's been ramping up now ever since they've had the CERN going on. The CERN, after they cut it on, they're ramping it up. We're having, and we're seeing more and more 6.0 all the way up to 8 and 9.0 earth megaquakes that are happening now since they brought that thing back online. Now, this is another thing everybody's been talking about, these portals. Now, in Enoch, whether it's a banned book of the Bible, they did not want anybody to read the book of Enoch. Why was that? Because it speaks of doors and windows in Enoch. These doors and windows in Enoch are the portals, or the wormholes that the scientists are talking about now. Okay, that's exactly what that is. Now, once you get talking about doors and windows, you can just about basically understand, you know, you and I can, the layman can understand, you walk through a door, you can actually open up a window and see through it. That's what they're doing in CERN. They want to open up the door. They want to open up the window where they can see through it. And they want to bring things, they even made it. They said they know what they're looking for. They said, we're going to create a doorway. And he said, we're either going to go through it, or we're going to send messages through it, or we're going to bring something back through there. Okay. So there you go. It's just plain and simple as a nose on your face. Now, they haven't hit the peak level on this CERN thing yet, and when they do, I don't know what's going to happen, you know. And God said, he said, when things gets bad enough, when things got bad enough, he will step in, he will cut the time short. I always took that as personal. It always rung out to me. That God put that in there for a reason. He can cut the time short. So therefore, you can never ever put a date on anything. He could cut the time short tomorrow. The rapture may not happen. The seals and all those vials and bowls may not even occur. He can choose to cut the time short and send, his son will put his foot upon the earth, and lo and behold, it's over. If and when he chooses to do so. You see, we take God right now as he is our servant. You know, he serves us. We don't serve him. There's where we make the fatal mistake. Understand what I'm saying here. We serve him. He does not serve us, but here we go around every day praying. 99% of the prayers is all you're ordering him to do something for you. You're ordering him to do it. Not asking, but just telling him, hey, do this. I'm your child. I ask of you this. It says in the Bible, if I ask, you will give. It says that, but he don't have to give. Just like your earthly father, you can go ask him all you want to, but does that mean he's going to buckle down? No. Neither is God. I came to do this video for one main purpose. For what's going on right now. The king of the north and the king of the south. As in Revelations also speaks about it in Daniel. The king of the north, which is Russia. The king of the south, it doesn't matter how you want to play it out. The king of the south is also known as the Babylon. Okay? And who and where is Babylon? Where is Babylon is right here in the United States of America. And who it is America. The whore of the world. We have taken our pornography, we have done and taken the sanctity of marriage that God gave to mankind. God gave, it's not up to us to change God's laws. God made it a law in the very beginning of days that he brought Adam and Eve, a man and a woman, male and female together, not a male and a male and a woman and a woman. He said, this is how it's going to be done. It's his order, it's his decree. It is his covenant with mankind. The United States has chosen, on the other hand, to break that covenant on purpose. To state that, okay, it's around the world now, and the world's going to follow this. Whatever, you know, it's a funny thing, I've been telling you this all along. Whatever happened in California happens across the country. Whatever becomes big in California, it goes across like a tsunami, just like a raging forest fire, and it sweeps across the nation. Whatever laws they make there, oh, it's good, and it's not. And it always hurts the country. It also hurts the people. We've seen what it's done to little unborn babies, right? Abortions everywhere. You know, the reason we have so many abortions is because women don't give they don't give a darn. You know, they just throw their legs wide open, get me pregnant, and I'll just abort it, you know, whenever I want to. Now you can abort it all the way up to the 8th month, 3 weeks. Because they're going to sell the parts anyway. And I told you all that a long time ago. I told you this 20 years ago when I said they're selling those parts. They're not dumping those babies in the trash can. And they're selling them. Instead of, you know, they can't say, well, this is going to help mankind. How's it going to help man? It's going to only help the rich. The rich is going to be helped. They're the ones that are benefiting from this. The poor people is never going to benefit from this. The poor people gives up their children. They have them, you know, they murder their children, then they chop and grind them up, and they make these facial pastes where now these T cells, these baby T cells are now on the women and men's faces to take the wrinkles out. I'm proud of my wrinkles. I don't want to take them out. I don't want to look young again. This is the way God planned everything. That's the way it's going to be with me. Vanity is not in my book. But it is in y'all's, because that's what you strive to do, to look younger, to feel better, to make yourself, Mr. and Mrs. feel good. That's why a lot of people don't like to come to my videos, listen to me on radio, because I don't make them feel good. I'm not here to make you feel good. And the book of Revelation is not there to make you feel good. The book of Daniel is not there to make you feel good. It's not time to party, it's time to weep, but also the time to rejoice because Christ is at the doorstep. And we don't know when it's going to be. Like I said, it could be tomorrow. We don't even have to have the rapture. He can come and get his church and his children anytime he wants to. He is God. And how dare you say, okay, God, this is what you got to do first. You got to do this first, that second, that third. No. No, how dare you? That's when he's going to cut the time short. When you think you have him, see who you are ordering him now. God, you can't do this, God. No, you can't. You got to do it in this order. You can't open up one and then go over and open up seal 6. No, Lord, you got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now that's my decree. See, mankind's making his decree to God instead of God giving man decrees. It's all backwards. That's why we become the whore of the world through pornography. It may not have began here, but it was planted here, and it multiplied and grew. And the people in California, lo and behold, here we go again, found out how to flood it around the world, how to market it, how to poison the children's minds. And it's an addiction. It's even worse than heroin. Worse than heroin. Evilness that's beyond all evil. Abortions coming across. That's one that broke the straw. That was one that God said, when that happens, you're another step closer, Babylon, to be destroyed. Now let me tell you, listen up. Abortion was number one. Abortion was number two. Number one. Number two was allowing gay marriage and forcing the churches to do it and forcing the people to sell licenses when it's against their will and against their religion and against their faith and beliefs. That's number two. And number three, and it's right at the doorstep. And then Babylon shall fall. Babylon will be split down the middle. Babylon will be burnt, smoked. Let me explain this a little bit further to you in just a few minutes. But the third thing that's going to do it is when Obama and the Pope, the United Nations, has already done it. They done. That's what they came together for this week. In the underlying mess of all that mess they talked about, all that crap that they spewed out was nothing but crap. The Agenda 21, just like Obamacare, hidden all in Agenda 21. It will take you maybe a lifetime to figure it all out. What does it say? What does it say? You're not going to know until, just like Pelosi said, well, we gotta put it into force. We got to sign it into law. It's got to become law before we can even read it. Never happened in the history of the United States that the Congress ever passed anything they didn't read, but that happened. Tell me it didn't happen. It did happen. This president, this administration has went around Congress so much it's become a habit. We don't even need a Congress anymore. Why do we, when I surf on the television, I go to C-SPAN. I don't stay there very long because there's nobody listening. Doesn't matter what they're saying in Congress. They're not doing anything. They can't do anything. Once they want to do something that is good for the people, Obama and his administration is going to veto it. They got enough power. They got enough Democrats in there, and we got enough backstabbing so-called Republicans. The gang of 6 and the gang of 8 also crosses over. Even the Speaker of the House has bowed down to the almighty Messiah Obama. Now, I'm not calling him my Messiah, but that's their Messiah. And they ain't going to do nothing. They're not going to do nothing about it. They're talking about repealing it. They ain't going to repeal it. They can shut it down. They can stop the money. They don't want to. Because I'll tell you why, they all are in on it together. There's where your eyes, the Bible says you will be deceived and fooled. There's where you're being fooled. They are all of one kind, just like wrestling. These wrestling matches, you see on television, people run and spend $100, $200 for a ticket to go see, and it's all fake. And they'll tell you it's fake, and they'll show you the scripts. They'll even let you see how they practice to doing all of this stuff where it looks real. Yes, sometimes they get hurt by accident. It's like when two kids playing around. They get hit by accident. They get hurt. But it doesn't deny the fact that it's all fake. It's all put on. Democrats Democrats don't hate Republicans. Republicans don't hate Democrats. They all are the same breed. They are of the same devil, they worship the same thing. Money, greed, pride, vanity, power. Ultimate power corrupts all. Then there's money. And you got to have money to have all that power. And you got to have it. And you got to have that long life. You don't think these old Republicans, Democrats are trying to get these baby parts and these salves and these ointments and these T-cells to make them live longer? You are out of your mind. Just look at Boehner. Boehner had those shots put in his face. Look at Lurch, John Kerry. His tater looked something awful bad there for a week or two. They done shot him up full of Botox so much. Hey. But anyhow, let's get to what's going on right now. And it's all the administration's fault. It's all Obama's fault. It's every bit of his fault. And it's playing right into Revelations. It's playing right into the King of the North and the King of the South. What's going to happen? Going to cause war. Another thing too, this is another great deception. You think the king in the Bible, you think the King of the North is an enemy of the King of the South. You think that they hate one another. No, they don't. They are on the same playing table. They're worshiping the same beast. They're following the Pope. They're following the false prophet. They're also, therefore, following Lucifer, they want to call it. They don't call him Satan. Lucifer. Even though they know that Lucifer turned into Satan, they don't believe that. They don't believe that. No. And even the Pope got on television. I got it on video and audio that he said that you don't need Christ. You don't even need the Bible to go to heaven. Now he says that the atheists can go to heaven. All the homosexuals going to heaven. I mean, everybody. I guess everybody. I mean, so in other words, what do you need him for? What does the people need him for? And that's exactly what he done. He went around and you see these false miracles too. They claimed he can perform the miracle of it. He laid his hand on a baby. They had two holes in its heart. One of them healed up. The other one was virtually on its way to healing. And they call that now a miracle by the Pope. And what did the Bible warn you about? What did the Bible warn you about? He said the false prophet will show you signs, great signs and wonders, and miracles will be done by him. He'd even call down fire from heaven. Fire from heaven will be, everybody's thinking it's going to be fire and brimstone, just, falling out of heaven, like out of these Hollywood movies. No. He's going to call down with a phone, hey, get these airplanes going, drop these bombs, or drop this Thor machine that they got up there, and drop these rods of titanium rods down upon the world and set it on fire. This is what John and Daniel saw these things, but they didn't have the mind of comprehension of the words, the modern words to use to say, hey, this is going to be a bomb, this is going to be a missile, this is going to be an atomic bomb. This is going to be a Thor rod, the rod of God, or the hammer of Thor, that they call it, that they got at space station up there, and they got these big telephone pole-sized things coming down upon, that can come down upon any city and destroy it. They're saying that's what hit China, though, those chemical plants that blew. They're saying that, and from the investigation that I've done, it does seem like that's what happened. That's what happened. Now let's talk about the King of the North and the King of the South. They're in cahoots, but I can prove to you they are. It was back before Obama was running for his re-election for his second term. He was talking to Putin. They was up on stage, and they left the mic open. They left the microphones open, and Obama and him was sitting there, and he leaned over, and they was leaning over, and they was laughing, grinning and putting their hands on it. He said, and Obama just leaned over and said, you can hear every word as plain as day. He said, hey, listen, I'm going to be talking rough about you in Russia today. But whatever you do, don't take it to heart. I'm with you. He said, he said, all I'm doing this for is to get reelected. I'm going to talk bad, so I can show myself as bad against you, but don't get teed off, because I'm with you, brother. I'm with you, brother. That's what he said. He said, hey, we'll do what, and I don't know what they was planning, but he said, we'll get done what we said was going to do after I get my second term. And Putin he nodded his head and leaned back and he grinned. So Putin was going to go ahead and give him a tongue thrashing. And they all went out to dinner and ate lobster and steak and all that, patting each other on the back like brothers and sisters. Just the same thing that the Democrats and the Republicans do. You know, it's like those wrestlers. Let's go back to the wrestlers. You know, when they have a match, you think they hate one another. No, they don't. They all go out and their families get together and have barbecues. They have parties. They love each other, just like brothers and sisters. Same thing about Democrats, Republicans. They're all brothers and sisters. They're all in it for the same thing. They're in it for themselves. They're in for it. They in to get as much money and power as they can. And right now they've been deceived by this head of the Illuminati, these Freemasons and these Jesuits, has fooled them into thinking that they're going to have some kind of power and say so over this new world order, but they're not. They don't realize they're signing their own death warrant. Every one of those congressmen and women are going to be put in their place in prisons or camps, locked away, or they're going to be dealt with by the guillotines, or by, you know, the Bible says they will be beheaded if they do not follow the beast and the false prophet to the letter, to the T. They will be destroyed. Now, what's going on right now? All the people are not even watching television. You know, when they say, well, that's the refugee, oh, that's the Muslims they're killing. They're not killing no Muslims over there. They're killing all Christians. They're beheading. They have not beheaded not one Muslim unless the Muslim converted over to Christianity. If they found out a Muslim, Islam was converted over to Christianity, they're dead meat. They're dead on the spot. They kill them right then, Johnny and Rebel, on the spot. They're also killing every one of those that does not get down on their hands and knees and convert over to Muhammad and Allah, Islam. They'll kill you. Or they say, we'll let you go, but you got to pay this, what they call the tithe, the fee. Okay, if you can afford it, you pay them so much a week and they'll let you live. This is exactly what it says about mark of the beast. They'll stamp you, you're okay, you're going to pay that price. So you're going to pay them. That's the mark of the beast. You know, you can't buy or sell, so you can't buy or sell without that mark. ISIS. Who created ISIS? Obama created ISIS. He created the vacuum. He knew what he was doing. He's not dumb. He's not stupid. When he stood up in there and he said that no longer, he spoke in the chambers of Congress and also the United Nations. He said no more is America a Christian country. No more truth is ever spoke. Right now we are not. Christians are a minority in this country right now. Minority. Islam and Buddhists and Islam, Muslim is #1 in this country right now. Right now. Now it's going to be, are they radicalized or not? Are they willing to kill Christians? We don't know. But the way I read their word, they have to if they want to go by what Allah says, Muhammad says. If they're an infidel, if they're not Islam, they're not Muslim, they are infidels, therefore they shall suffer them not to live. They are the same things as hogs, pigs, goats, cows, dogs, and cats. Kill them. They're useless. They're worthless. That's what they're doing over there right now. So who created this ISIS thing? It was created between the king of the north and the king of the south, and they fed it. They set it up and they fed it. Now, Hillary Clinton was in on this too. Okay? Let me see if I can, hold on just a second. I had to get the time there. Hillary Clinton was the main one who started this. She started with Russia when she was Secretary of State. Her first thing was that she's going to hit the reset button with Russia. Remember that? Remember that, y'all? Do you remember that? She's going to reset the relationships between Russia and the United States. Did that work out? You like what happened? She also liked it so much that she talked to Obama, and Obama liked what she said. They were going to go into Egypt and do the same thing. They were going to use the same reset button to reset Egypt, the power there. The power that be in Egypt, they didn't like it, so they wanted to remove it. You know why they didn't like it? Because it wasn't of the brotherhood. It wasn't of the brotherhood. It wasn't of the hood, man. It wasn't of the ISIS hood. And also what they didn't like was Egypt was also the stable power that kept peace, that tried to keep peace with Israel and all the surrounding Arabian nations around there in the Middle East, kept the peace. What happened when we saw that turn out to a fluke? The brotherhood took over Egypt. The brotherhood took it over. And they went around acting like they always do, like these little Hollywood actors, and they look like, you know, here come Miss Hillary with them wild eyes. Well, we know we got to work on this, so it didn't quite go as we planned. We planned on they're going to march and burn, rape and kill and kick out the president, and the people were going to take it over, and we would not have to fire not one shot. Now, doesn't that sound, it's not a conspiracy, ladies and gentlemen. There are a lot of conspiracy people out there put that conspiracy out, and everybody says, hey, that's a conspiracy, you're a conspirators. It happened though, didn't it? It happened though, didn't it? And they said they wasn't going to stop there. The people of the conspiracy group said it's not going to stop there. They were talking about it going to Syria. Bingo! What happened? What happened? The next one they went to, they done the same thing, pushed that reset button. And Hillary, and I heard her say, she said, well, it may not have worked in Egypt, but it'll work in Syria. And they already had it planned. They already had it, the list of countries that they was going to reset. They was going to start with Egypt. They was going to go to Syria and then Lebanon, okay, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, even Pakistan, Turkey, and Iran was in on that list. Because they said once these all start tumbling down and democracy moves in, then these others has to fall in line or else. But you see that or else did not happen. Now they're doing it. It backfired. Now they're telling the rest of the world, ISIS is saying, hey, we're the all else, or you're the all else. You do as we say or else. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening. Remember the Bible said in Revelation, says it will become into power so rapidly that it's never been seen in the face of this earth ever before. No army, and it's not, and they claim it's not an army, but it is an army. Don't let it be fooled you. You see, there you are being fooled and deceived again by the great beast and Antichrist. You're being fooled to believe that ISIS is not an army. That's why Obama came out and called it a JV club. It was just a little basketball team. You know, the fourth string that you can just walk right over at any time. And then he come out and said they was going to dismantle and destroy, slow down and then destroy ISIS. Hasn't happened now, has it? As a matter of fact, they've grown stronger and more faster and more powerful. They own more, taking over more country now. Every time he comes out on the stage, every time Obama comes out on television and says, we're going to stop. They don't stop nothing. I haven't heard, I hear all this talk about killing all these leaders. I don't see their faces on television. I don't see the strikes as being made on TV like you did in the Iraqi war. We saw all of those hits, man. We saw everything, the tanks, the buildings, people running, getting blasted. You're not even seeing, we saw their bodies being dragged. We're not seeing nothing out of this bunch. They're bombing nothing but sand out there. And then they're coming and telling you, oh, we killed 120. No, if they killed anybody, they killed civilians, they killed women and children. And I've heard of that. Now, what's happening right now? This is the reason I brought this video. What's happening right now should make your skin crawl. Russia right now, when the United Nations and the Pope and Obama, all of them in on it together. They're in on it together. That's the reason Obama was talking Billy Bad at the United Nations, says, oh no, Russia's not going to do this, Russia's not going to do anything in Ukraine, Russia's not going to do that, we're going to put a stop to that. Putin was sitting back doing this. He sat back doing this right here. He sat back doing it because he knows it's all BS. See, it's BS. They're all of the same family. Once you can put that in your mind, in your tater, that they all of the same breed, of the same function, junction, then you may be able to keep up with what I'm talking about here. But until then, you're not going to understand the Bible. You're not going to understand how this world's going to come to an end or anything. And you're not going to believe in it because you got scabs over your eyes because you're following that bunch of critters. I blame the voters. The voters, you voted this maniac in twice. You voted him in twice. Said, oh, he can do a great job, but he just didn't have enough time. Well, he's had enough time, and he's took us further and further down the road. He's done and went and bowed down to all of our past enemies and said, we're sorry, we'll never do it again, which he was right. We're not going, no. And he's bragging the other day, I mean, not the other day, when I came down to the studio, I heard him say, bragging at the United Nations, we've got 60 other countries in our helping us fight against ISIS. 60 countries, ladies and gentlemen. We didn't have that many in World War II. If he's got 60 countries, it should be a cakewalk, go through one little old country, country Syria, right on through, just like a bad case of diarrhea through a sick person. It ain't going to take long, just a matter of days or hours. Gone. If you've got 60, but I don't think they got 60. I think who's got 60, I think what he was talking about is what ISIS has. ISIS has been given all of this weaponry from 60 countries that is allied with ISIS. That's what I know is happening. That's the truth. That's the fact. And you're sitting there letting this man blow smoke right where the sun don't shine, and you got a smile on your face because you want to be Mr. and Mrs. Feel Good. You don't want to have to think about World War III fixing to happen. But it's right at your door right now as I speak. Right now, Russia has went in and told in the United Nations that they will go into Syria, and they're there now. Right now, I got from my Red Dogs, they said they are bombing right now places in Syria, and they're not hitting ISIS, ladies and gentlemen. They're not hitting ISIS. They're not hitting Assad. They're hitting where they think we are, the people that we put in there. And he's done, and Putin's done told Obama to get out. You see, now this is where Obama now has been played. Obama now knows he's been backstabbed. He's been played. Okay? Unless Obama thinks in his mind that he and Russia is going to take over the Middle East. Okay? This whole block. And Russia will then paint all that red, along with China, all of that. The whole, and then the European nations will fall right after that. They'll fall just like that. Just as fast as Hitler rolled through there, man. They're going to go down right to the doorsteps of London. The Queen is going to be captured. Well, of course, she's in on this too, because her and the Pope and communists and the Illuminati and the Freemasons are all just like that. They're one and the same bunch. You got to know the players in this business. You got to know their players. You got to know what they're up to. And what I saw in my visions, how is this going to be split? The country, Babylon. Babylon is America. Babylon is the whore. Babylon is which one has started all this mess. If it wasn't for Obama and his administration and Hillary Clinton, we wouldn't be in this position. Putin would never have had the power that he has now to do what he's doing. He's ordering our planes out of there and our aircraft carriers to be moved. You know why? Because we're right outside of what? Where? Israel. We're using that body of water right there in Israel to fly these so-called sortie missions, which I haven't seen. Now, I haven't even heard of. It used to be every other hour. 1,200 sorties was carried out a day in Iraq. Another 2,300 sorties were carried out the same day against Afghanistan. You don't hear that. You don't hear that every day. You don't hear that I haven't heard any bombing at all by the United States or by England or by anybody. I don't think it's happening. You've been deceived. You see, I knew this wasn't going on. I knew it was all a bunch of crap. It was all a bunch of BS when they first thought it up and they kicked it into gear. So the king of the north is Russia and also China, okay, Mog and Magog. Great. They're going to roll through, dragging right along with it, Babylon. But God's going to deal, God's not going to deal with the king of the north, China and Russia, at that precise moment. What he's going to, or any of these Illuminatis, he's going to deal with what? He's going to deal with America. Because America has went to the United Nations and into the Pope, went there and gave them a charter, gave the Palestinians a charter that they will be recognized as a state, and I guarantee you they have in their powers, they're going to give back to the Palestinians the 1967 property lines, and also here's what's going to do it. They're either going to give one half of Jerusalem over to the Palestinians, the east side will belong to the Palestinians, or they're going to give all of Jerusalem to the Palestinians. And here's another backbreaker for you. They don't have to recognize Israel as a state, but Israel's got to recognize them as a state. And guess what Iran said? Guess what Pakistan said? Guess what Turkey? All of them. Saudi Arabia, all of them in the Middle East said, Egypt, all of them would never recognize Israel as a state. Even though she is a state, she is a state. United Nations, America, once America recognized it. But Obama came out the other day and said, this is going to change. He said, that's going to change. America used to walk into the United Nations, and America was, and England was the one that had the veto power to stop the Palestinians from getting a statehood. But Obama walked out the other day and said that's not going to happen again. So yes, they will get it. And no, Israel's not going to be looked at as a state, so therefore she does not have zero sovereignty. In other words, she cannot, if she fires upon anybody, it'd be murder, because they cannot go to war with anybody because they don't have sovereignty. They're not a state, they're not a country anymore. They're just a bunch of renegades running around out there in the desert. Are you listening to me? Yeah? I hope you are. What's going to happen when Israel, when that goes through, when this is the peace plan that the Revelation talked about, be 3.5 years of peace. There's already been that. That peace has already been had. It's already done. It's already happened. The only thing that we got left now is the 3.5 years of total hell on earth, and it's already begun. Russia started dropping the bombs in Syria already, and they're setting up, now listen to this, in Babylon, the old place of Babylon, in Iraq, Iran and Russia, and Egypt, I think it's Egypt and Saudi Arabia, and all of those are coming together in Iraq, Babylon, not Babylon, but I can't make a name of it right now. Anyway, forgive me. Right there in the capital of Iraq, they're making their headquarters, and the United Nations is going to be with. And then Obama came out. Obama said this, and today that he's willing to work with Russia, China, and Iran. Work with them, no matter what they ask. We're going to work with them to get rid of ISIS. But that's not what they're doing. They're not getting rid of, they're using ISIS to take over the whole area. Y'all bug-eyed people can't see past the Messiah Obama to know what's going on. And I'm glad, and I'm going to hold all of this murder and mayhem on the backs of the voters. You voted him in, your name is going to be on that contract when you're standing before God. And he's going to ask you, why did you get this creature into power? You had the power to make it so, and you did it. It's your fault. It's not God's fault. It's not my fault. I didn't vote the creature in. Boy, somebody did, didn't they? Well, you got what you wanted. And you're going to get what you're going to get when you stand up before the throne of God. When he asks you, why didn't you put a stop to the abortions? Why? And then he's going to call you a murderer because you didn't do it. You pushed the buttons to put those people in to keep on destroying his young children. He's going to call you a murderer. Just because you voted him in, yes, you are a murderer. Don't stand there and say, well, I didn't know, I thought I was voting for the right one, just shut it down. No, you don't. You know better than that. You know better. You know what you was doing. You knew what you was doing. You know what right now today what you're doing. You don't care. Just as long as they leave you alone and you can be Mr. and Mrs. Feel Good. I'm Mr. Feel Good. You're Mrs. Feel Good. Leave us alone. Doesn't matter how much they bomb over there, as long as it ain't going to be over here. But let me tell you what's going to happen over here, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be an earthquake that you have never, ever even imagined is going to hit America. I mean, not just one spot. It's going to be two spots. Three spots are going to be rock and roll. The eastern seaboard, right down the Mississippi River, the Midian Fault's going to uproot, and it's a million times more dangerous than the Sandrex Fault in California. A million. If the Midwest Fault goes off at a 10.5 or 11, forget about all the earthquakes. You could put all the bad earthquakes California's ever had and put them in for a million years and ball them up, ain't going to equal to that one. We're going to rip it right from the Great Lakes all the way down to all the way down. It's not going to be just a mile wide river like the Mississippi. No. It's going to be so wide you can't see across it. It's going to be so wide you can't see across it with the most $2,000 pair of binoculars. You're not going to be able to see the other side. 2 states are going to be underwater where the Mississippi used to be. Louisiana's not just going to be a little bitty piece of Louisiana up far northwest. It's all going to be left of it. When's it going to occur? I don't know. Now, we've done had the Shemitah. We've had the stock market going up and down, mostly down now. Where they're expecting it to go down to 15, and if it goes down from 15 to 14, it goes down to 13. Then you'll know. And if it goes down to 777 in one day, that's what happened in 2008. You might as well take a fork and stick it in the 401ks. All of you so-called middle class, bye-bye. You're done. Stick a fork in you, you're done. Lost all your 401k, and then you're going to lose your homes, you're going to lose your property because you can't pay the property tax. Bingo, your property's gone, everybody's homeless, everybody's going to be on the street. You can't cross the mighty Mississippi no more because it's an ocean. It's an ocean. And guess what? California's going to be gone. The new beachfront will be in Arizona. Nevada will be half gone, almost 3/4 gone. California, Oregon, Washington, Seattle gone. Bye. See you later. It's because those bam, 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 just like dominoes. They're the ones that started the 1960 hippie movement. The abortion come across the gay right through the United States. What caused the United States to become the whore of the world, the prostitute of the world? Bing, bang, boom. Those places that are going to be underwater, sunk, are the places, are the main players. You've been warned. You've been warned. Now you're talking about these great, meteors and mountains falling in. Is this going to happen? It could. It does say it. It could. Will it happen? I don't know. That's up to God's will. That's His will. His will, not our will. They said, well, it's written down, so it shall be done. Not necessarily. God did say, I'll cut the time short. So when He cuts the time short, there ain't going to be nothing after that. Ain't going to be nothing going on after that. It's going to be head and head. Christ comes and speaks the word, destroys everything. Obama, the king of the north, king of the south, all the other kings of the world gone. Just one spoken word from Jesus' lips. Their bellies will break open, their guts will spill out. And Christ told the angels, he said, now go to the four corners of the earth and tell all the beasts of the earth and all the fowl, the birds of the air to come and have the great feast upon all the evil ones. Because here they lay in blood up to the mouths of horses, guts spewed out all over the place, screaming and gashing and gnashing of teeth as the wild animals and the birds are ripping them apart. That is their payment that they're going to pay for not listening to what's going on right now. Russia is about to drop the EMF bomb over America. You know, the Bible said they will be, as in the days of Noah shall it be again, and in the days of Moses. Remember, Egypt was in 3 days of darkness. It said the darkness was so dark that nobody saw each other's face for 3 days, 72 hours. Nobody could recognize anybody. It was so dark. They said it was so dark, it was thick that you could slice it with a knife. You could feel it, they said. You could feel, you put your hand through the darkness. It was so dark. You could feel the darkness. And why was it so dark? Because God took his light away from Babylon. The whore of the world, he took their light away. You want to follow darkness, you want to follow evil, that's what you've been doing. You've been setting it up, you've been voting for it, voting for it, voting for it. Said God doesn't have nothing to do with this woman's body. Woman's got, that's her body. Forget God. God has nothing to do with this. It's her body, it's her. If she wants to kill her kid, let her kill it. You that said that, you that voted for that, and that woman, see, the Pope said that's all going to be forgiven. I got news for you. Only the ones that's been raped or been done in by incest, or number 3, that their lives are going to end, and so the baby, the mother and the baby both will die. That was the only 3, when it first started, that was the only 3 that said abortions could be allowed to happen. If it was through rape, incest, or if the mother and baby was going to die, that was the only 3. But now, it's open season, all year long. Just because a little girl gets drunk and crazy and wants to have sex with 4 or 5 boys in college, high school and college, no matter if they're 12, 13 years old, they can walk in now, they can walk right in without their parents, without anybody knowing it, sign the papers and Planned Parenthood, kill that baby, and they'll say, and they'll even charge the child, make her pay for it, or make the county or state pay for it, the taxpayer pay for it. Then they turn around and sell the baby parts for millions of billions of dollars. And they don't get, you know, if it's, why don't they start paying the mother? Say, why don't you go out there and get pregnant, bring the baby over here and let us kill it, and we'll cut you in for, you know, maybe we'll give you $4,000 or $5,000. So as soon as you heal up, go out there and get pregnant again, and then bring it back in here. We'll do it again. You get another $5,000. That's what they want to do. They know they can't get by with that. And why would they have to give? They're not giving up that $5,000 to anybody. They're keeping every red cent of it. It's all about the money, and the power to do it. The power to do it. They're sitting right there doing this. You can't stop us. We're doing it. We got the law behind us. We can do what, you know, that woman got the right, and we got the right to help her do it. You know, we're going to take your taxpayer money. We're going to do it whether you like it or not. What do you think about that? And if we won't do it, we're going to force these churchgoers to pay for it too, because if they don't do what we say, we're going to take their taxes in, and they no longer be a church. We can take that away from them. How do you like those noodles? So then all these so-called Christian, I call them plastic Christians, that tells everybody they're Christians, all these powerful preachers, you know, the Joel Osteen. You don't think Joel Osteen, he right now, he was ready to marry men and men and women and women. He was ready to marry them just like that. Because he was saying the same thing the Pope was. They're all going to heaven. All the atheists are going to heaven. All the whores and prostitutes are going to heaven. All the pimps. It doesn't matter. They're all going to heaven. You're talking about a vile deception, man. You're right in the middle of it. And World War III is fixing to be, you know, that 3 days of darkness that Daniel talked about, and also it talks about it in Daniel that's going to happen again. 3 days of darkness happened in excuse me, happened in Egypt in the days of Moses. But Daniel says it's also going to happen again in the end of days. You're going to have 3 more days of darkness in the land of Babylon. That's EMF bombs, ladies and gentlemen. Russia's got them ready. They're fixing to plow them in here. And once they cut our power, I'm going to tell you something. Our military is blind. They can't communicate. They can't tell nobody to go, where to go and where not to go. And if that happens, those nuclear submarines that we got floating around at that ocean, they got orders to launch those things no matter what. World War III is right now upon your dinner plate. And if you don't think it is, you better turn on the television and listen to what they're saying right now, because Russia is dropping bombs. And they done told Obama, they told the great whore of Babylon that they don't care what we say or do. They're going to do what they want to do. Because why? Because Obama is weak, he's a moron, and everybody that's in his administrations don't know what they're doing. I'd rather have children in there. They're morons, every one of them is. They have destroyed this country. It's no longer free America anymore. It is full-hearted communist, socialist, and might as well throw in Islamic as well. Great job, ladies and gentlemen. As Jesus would have said, what a great job that y'all have done. God gave you free will to do whatever you wanted to do, to make and create a great civilization, a great world, love one another like he wanted you to love one another and take care of each other, and to use your money to do that with. He didn't care if you got rich in the process, but as long as you was helping the needy, the homeless, and everything with it. Like Job was a rich man, he was doing that. Abraham was a rich man, he was helping. He never turned nobody away. Gave him a job, said, hey, we're going to feed you, you stay right here in my tribe. His tribe that's why he had the biggest tribe around him. Even kings and rulers didn't mess around with Abraham. As a matter of fact, Abraham went around and kicked a few kingdoms down, took them over. But he gave them right back because he didn't want them. But God told him to torch it, and they did. They torched it. Ladies and gentlemen, God's fixing to do this one. It ain't going to be Abraham, it ain't going to be Moses. It ain't going to be Russia. It ain't going to be the United States going to torch this world. God's not going to sit around and let man destroy his creation. That's why he's going to cut the time short when all these rockets starts coming out of the ocean. They're not going to explode. Only the ones that he wants to destroy. God may let a few of those hit the ground just to shake the world and the people fall down and know who is God. But it's going to be through his mighty hand, his hand. Because he said in that hour, he said, when I shake the world, he said, every star in heaven will be shaken as well. And he says, when I get through shaking at that time, everybody's knees shall hit the ground and know that I am the Creator, God Almighty, Jesus, the Lord Christ. And the hour is now. If you haven't received Christ, if you're not a true, dead set against all evil, against abortion, against gay marriage, and if you for all that, then you're a false Christian. And carry that with you. I want you to tell Christ that and God and the Holy Spirit when you're standing at the holy throne of judgment. I want to hear you. I want to hear you tell that to God. that you were right and he was wrong. I want to hear it. I want to see what he's going to do. I want to hear what he's got to say to you. He's going to ask you 1,000 times, why'd you kill all my children? Why'd you allow them to kill all my blessed children? Why did you allow the abomination of all abominations go around the world in your country? Of man laying with man and woman with woman. When you knew it was an abomination. When God told you it was an abomination. When you turned your head. Why did you turn? Because you're a false Christian. You're plastic. You're a fence rider. Jesus said that you can be Luke. He said, now you can be hot or cold, but if you're lukewarm, lukewarm means here's hot, right here's hot, here's cold, lukewarm's in the middle. I call them fence riders. That's a fence right there. It's two posts, hot and cold posts, and you got the fence right in between there. You're straddling the fence right here. You're straddling the fence because you're Mr. and Mrs. Feel-Good. Jesus said those riding that fence in the middle, lukewarm, is spew. He's going to spew you out of his mouth. He'll know you not. He said you can call upon his name, Lord, Lord, at the dead of the hour, in the darkness of the dark. He said, I'll hear you not. He'll hear you not. So you fake plastic Christians out there, you better get down on your hands and knees tonight. You better reread your Bible. What's left of it, what man did not twist and garble up. But if you'll ask for God's Holy Spirit to enter your heart, you'll know his truth, his wisdom, and you'll have understanding to know what he wants you to know in the end of days. And you'll know what you've done wrong. You better repent. You better repent now because time's out now. It's over with. As soon as you hear that they're taking land away from Israel, and that they give half of Jerusalem or all of Jerusalem up, it's on. It's on because all the rest of it's done took care of. That's the last of the signs. You don't have to worry about no more. It ain't going to be the blood moons and the full moons and all this rigmarole. What y'all should have been worried about is what happened in the United Nations this week. And what's happened in Congress this week. Because they're all in on it together. They're all Satanists. They're all Luciferians. And if you don't want to be the follower of Lucifer, like you are right now, don't you follow Hollywood? You Mr. and Mrs. Feel-Good. You follow the Pope, the false prophet. Follow Obama. You follow abortion. You follow gay rights activists from one end of the earth to the other. The abomination of desolation. And you're not a fence rider. This is Dr. Butch Melton, ladies and gentlemen, until I get back on the radio, until I get back to doing that. I'll let everybody know on SS, Sing Snap, I'll put it on my last song. Just check on my profile on my last song, go to my last song. If I'm doing any radio shows, I'll post a link there. And also these links for the YouTube will be there as well. I hope you can get there from there. A lot of people say they had trouble. But if you go to my YouTube channel, you should be able to get there from there. And if not, just try to get on this one. Just get in the comment box and ask me, and I'll send it to you if you want to in your Facebook. I'll send it through Facebook and also tweet it out. If you just follow us there and like us on YouTube and spread the word, spread this link, get it out because this is it. The King of the North right now is in the Middle East, has done made. All nations are now surrounded. The United Nations surrounded Israel, including America, per Obama. Lucifer, Obama. Once again, this is Dr. Butch Mill. Until we meet again, may God walk with you every step that you take and be in every breath that you breathe, and pray to Him every day, as many times every day, every minute if you can. Because now is the time that you do not want to be without the light, because the darkness is coming. The great whore Babylon. She's been warned, and she did not listen. You can't fix it now, it's unrepairable. What's going to be is going to be. It is done. Go to your televisions. Watch what's fixing to happen. Watch what's fixing to happen. The Agenda 21 and Israel will be torn apart and be divvied up amongst the wolves until we meet again. God bless each and every one.